Welcome to our channel, Say Why Chicken Thigh. We're here in our garden in the very early morning, and it is set to rain for the next 2 days. The rain hasn't started yet. And so it's a great time to lay down some fertilizer for our garden. I'm going to be demonstrating the effectiveness of a very simple fertilizer made using yeast, sugar, and water. To make the fertilizer, you're first going to start by making a slurry of 4 cups of water or 1 quart of water for every 1 tablespoon of any kind of dry yeast and 1 tablespoon of any type of sugar. So in front of us here, I have 2 jars, and each jar is filled with 4 cups of warm water, 1 tablespoon of yeast, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. And I've allowed these to sit overnight. You're going to want to allow your slurry to sit for at least 2 hours to activate. And the way you know that it's activated is you'll notice all these bubbles and foam on top. That means that it is ready for the next step. And I'm going to go ahead outside, because what you're going to do next is take each 4-cup measure that you create and pour it into 1 gallon of warm water. I have my beautiful helper, and she's going to demonstrate how you can add your starter of your 4 cups of warm water, your 1 tablespoon of yeast, and your 1 tablespoon of sugar that has been sitting for at least 2 hours into 1 gallon of water each. So we're using this 5-gallon bucket, and my helper is going to pour a gallon of warm water into the bucket. All right, and now she'll dump in both of our starters.
This one?
Both of them. Awesome. And then the next one.
Stir it.
We're going to add a ladle of this fertilizer to every plant that we're treating. And I can already feel the little drops of rain coming on. So we're not going to water our plants beforehand, because I know it's supposed to rain pretty heavily. But if you know that it'll be a little bit more dry in your climate, go ahead and water your plants first and then add the fertilizer. All right, so we can start right here on the tomatoes. Yep. And you can let it get nice and saturated, and it's okay if it gets on the leaves, because this will not harm the plant in any way. We also have a big row of these cucumber plants, and I'm going to also treat half of the row with the fertilizer and leave the other half untreated. And then we have a big patch of summer squashes and potatoes, and as you can see, we offset them or planted them about 2 weeks apart so that they would flower at different times. So I'm going to be careful to be very objective when I apply fertilizer to the same group size of plants to compare them. So on this side, on this end, you'll notice that these 2 parallel rows are approximately growing at the same rate. They're the same age closest to me. So I will treat one of these more established rows and leave the other row for comparison. But I'll also be treating my entire garden with whatever I have left over, because what's so cool about this fertilizer is it works on a myriad of fruits and vegetables. I don't really know what you couldn't use it for. So I'll be careful, though, to mark what I haven't treated, just so we can get a little bit of a comparison on the growth after 1 week. And the fact that it's going to rain for the next 2 days is significant, because when you apply this fertilizer, you want to make sure to apply it to wet soil. So the rain is going to take away a little bit of the legwork for me. Now, we do have irrigation available for our gardens, but if we can save water by using Mother Nature's water, then that's even better. And here comes the rain. Here it is 1 week later after applying the yeast fertilizer only once, and the growth can best be appreciated with the side-by-side comparison of cucumber plants. I fertilized the 10 plants on the end of the row on the right. The ones on the left were not given the yeast fertilizer. You can see that the cucumber plants given the yeast fertilizer are double the size of the plants to the left that were not given the fertilizer. And though we don't have a side-by-side comparison of these tomato plants that were treated with the yeast fertilizer, by the power of technology, you can see how they are bursting with new growth. To show just how powerful this simple yeast fertilizer is, I treated the row of zucchini plants on the right that looked slightly shorter than the row on the left. And here they are a week after, just covered with blossoms and new growth. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you found it useful, and if you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe to Say Why Chicken Thigh, where we're full of super easy, inexpensive, and all-natural gardening ideas. And of course, lots of advice and love for chickens too. Until next time.